Hey, what's up, guys? So I kind of wanted to make this video to kind of talk about things that you should start thinking about budget-wise for Japan celebration if you're trying to go. Now, it's Wednesday, October 25th, and we're roughly about 18 months away from Japan celebration. So about a year and a half, which is a long time away, guys. So I kind of wanted to just make this video so you guys can kind of think now and plan now because saving over a year and a half is a pretty good amount of time to get everything, saved up that you want for the trip if you're trying to go or if you're thinking about going for sure. So now if you guys missed it, I just did a live stream the other day and it was just a live Q&A for Celebration Japan. Any questions about celebration, about planning for Japan? So I'm going to do one of these lives every month from here till April of 2025. So literally over the next 18 months, there'll be a monthly live video where we're gonna do a Q&A. So definitely come check it out. If you guys have any questions, hop in the live. If you catch it on the replay, just comment down your questions below and I'll get back to them. So today I kind of want to talk about some of the things that you might not be thinking about for your budget for saving for when you go to celebration. Now, we're gonna go over the obvious things, of course, right? So one of the first things I wanted to talk about was the flights. Now, clearly, if you're going to go to Japan celebration, unless you live in Japan, you're going to need that flight. So I know roughly from now, in about 5 months, we'll be able to book flights because I'm planning to do my flight from ANA Airlines, and I'm going to be flying from the States, from Florida to Tokyo. So roughly in 5 months from now, I'll be able to book the plane ticket. That's one of the first things that I'm saving for right now. Literally, within 5 months, you could book your plane ticket. Now, you don't have to get it right then and there. Me personally, I am because I just want to knock that out of the way because that's the biggest expense for this trip is that plane ticket. And if I could just knock that out early and not have to worry about it, I am. Now, on the other hand, you literally have 18 months to book that plane ticket. So there really is no rush. But for me personally, that's the one thing I'm planning for in my budget is the plane ticket first to knock that out. Now, the second thing would be celebration tickets. Now, I know some of you might be like, "Well, don't you want the celebration tickets first?" Me, I mean, the only reason I'm doing the plane first is it's just it's like I mentioned before, it's the biggest expense, and I just want to like get that over with because that is just pull the band-aid off because that it is ridiculous the flights. But I mean, I could wait, but I just want to get it over with. Now, the celebration tickets, I think we're pretty much 7 months away from tickets going on sale. Now, it's not for sure, but more than likely, it should go on sale in June of next year. So around June 2024 is what makes the most sense to me because I went to Orlando Celebration in 2017 and then Chicago Celebration in 2019. Those tickets went on sale June 2018, right in the middle. So this is very similar with London being 2023, Japan being 2025. So if I was a guessing man, I would guess those tickets would go on sale June 2024. So that's pretty much 7 months from now. So budgeting away money for the tickets. Now, it's only 3 days. So I don't think the 3 day pass is going to be more than 200. It should be less than 200. So literally, I'm just going to put $200 to the side, my celebration tickets for when they go on sale. Now that's just for the regular tickets. Jedi VIP probably will be a good 5 or 600. So if you wanted to do VIP, Jedi VIP, you're gonna want to put away at least 600, I would say, to the side for when those tickets go live. And then if you don't get through and get the VIP, I mean, 3 day should be less than 200. So now the next expense after that is just like the hotel. So I think we're roughly about 6 or 7 months out from being able to book a hotel. I've been checking on Expedia all the time on the actual hotel websites, and nobody lets you book that far out. So I think around April, May of next year is when you'll be able to start booking those hotels. So that's another thing that I want to kind of knock out too right away is just getting my hotel booked. Now, the cool thing is if you book with Expedia, you could do it where you pay when you check in, which is kind of nice and helps you with your budgeting because it gives you more time to get up that money for the hotel. Or if you do Airbnb or whatever way you do, but you just keep in mind you need to budget for having somewhere to sleep while in Japan. Now, those are kind of the obvious things, right? Plane tickets, celebration tickets, your hotels. So the way I'm doing my trip is I'm kind of doing two separate budgets. I'm keeping the funds separate because I'm very bad when it comes to spending. Um, at like certain places and on certain things, I have very bad self control, let's say. So I'm gonna have a separate budget, a Tokyo budget, and then my celebration budget. So first, we're gonna talk about my Japan Tokyo budget and how I'm budgeting that. So flight, hotel are the first two for the Japan budget, right? The third would just be food. Like you got to eat. So just having a certain amount, however many days you go there, you figure you want to eat at least twice a day, maybe three times a day. One thing I recommend if you can, if you do get a hotel, try to find one that has free breakfast because that saves you one meal a day. So now the next would just be like any excursion. So any like activities you'll be doing in Japan. So like I know I want to go do Mount Fuji. I know I want to go to both Disney parks and things like that. So having a set amount for those excursions put to the side, that way, it's good to set in stone. So like for like my Disney tickets, I'm gonna buy those beforehand. There's a tour that Expedia has for Mount Fuji. I'm gonna book that before. So a lot of the stuff I'm gonna book before. That way I don't gotta worry about it when I get there. But I mean, you got to budget for that. And then after that, I would say like souvenirs and shopping. So depending on, what kind of things you're into, Japan can be trouble. And for me specifically, I love Nintendo. I love Pokemon. I'm not huge on anime, thank God, because it'd be even worse going over there. My brother is, and he's coming with me, so I know he's screwed. But you got to think about all the things you're gonna see there. You're gonna see a lot of like unique things that you could only get there while you're touring Japan. And like just like souvenirs and stuff, you might want to bring stuff back as a memory of going to see certain things for families and friends. So definitely you want to budget for your souvenirs and shopping. So that's pretty much the budget for Japan that I'm going to have a certain amount set to the side, right? I haven't figured that amount yet, but I'm going to make sure I cover all of those in my Japan budget. Now, the celebration budget, this is where it gets dangerous. Now, we're going to look at a few things here, but for celebration, now you don't need to have a huge budget for celebration, right? Like you can go, just buy your tickets, go, and you don't have to spend any money there. You could bring food and snacks with you. You could bring a water bottle. You could legit go there and just enjoy the experience, meeting people and seeing things. Because when you go to celebration, pretty much like, the exhibit floor, you get to walk that. That's included panels. If you get into the panels are free. You get to see the panels and things like that. So you don't have to spend money at celebration to have a good time, but there might be some things that you want to pick up, and there is like extra costs that you might not realize or might not think about. So I kind of want to go through all the possible costs at celebration that you might want to budget for now or think about now. That way you could have like a ballpark. Okay, I want to spend this amount over photo ops, autographs, merch, art, things like that. So the first thing we're actually going to look at is photo ops and autographs. Not everyone gets photo ops or autographs. I know for me, I've been to four celebrations. My first two celebrations, I did zero photo ops, zero autographs. I had the time of my life. It wasn't until Anaheim where I started to do photo ops. And then in London, I continued with the photo ops. If you can afford it and you can budget it, it's a great experience. It is very quick and very brief and short when you're meeting these celebrities for these photo ops, but depending on who it is, like sometimes it's memories you'll never forget for the rest of your life. So just so you guys can have a ballpark idea, the ranges on the prices vary depending on the actor. So right here, this right here is Anaheim 2022's pricing. So like Anthony Daniels for autograph was 125, photo op was 140, right? Ashley Eckstein, the voice of Ahsoka Tano, autograph 125, photo 155. So those are a little bit more on the pricey side, right? Then you have like Daniel Logan, the OG Boba Fett. His autograph 60 bucks, photo op 60 bucks. So like the range could be anywhere from 60 up to like you get to the man, the myth, the legend, Ewan McGregor, 300 for the autograph, 300 for the photo op. Now I know that's a big chunk of change. Not everybody can afford that, right? But I mean, it's something to consider. Like, say if you've never been to a show and you love Ewan McGregor, that would, if that's your dream to meet him, that's, you have to keep that into consideration, that you would need a budget that 300. But then you have people like the Armorer, $60 for the autograph, 70 for the photo op. You got Moff Gideon, 85, 85. You got Ian McDermott, 140 for the autograph, 155 for the photo op. So that gives you an idea of like price range roughly. So this was Anaheim. This right here was for London Celebration. So I'm gonna put the links to all these down in the description. That way, if you want to take a look, kind of play with it, just so you have an idea when you are planning and budgeting what it costs. And then also keep in mind, sometimes these actors aren't there for the whole show. So, like in London, Hewan was only there 2 of the days, right? So he was only there Saturday and Sunday. He wasn't there Friday and Monday. And then you have some people that are there all 4 days, like Ashley Eckstein. She was there all 4 days. This is definitely a cost to consider. And again, you don't have to do a photo or an autograph to have a good time at Celebration. But if they do announce a guest that you would love to meet, just keep in mind roughly these are what the prices kind of look like. The next thing I want to talk about is all the merch. So there is a lot of merch there, a lot of vendors, a lot of booths. There's the exhibit floor, the show floor that has tons of vendors, and then there's a Celebration show store. So I know pins is a really big thing at Star Wars Celebration. If you're not familiar with like the pin trading at Celebration, definitely go check out this video. I'll drop the link down in the description. But collecting pins is a huge thing at Celebration because there's exclusive pins in the show store. There's exclusive pins that the staff members have there that you got to trade for. There's exclusive pins on the show floor. So it can be a mission. So there's those. And then there's all kinds of like exclusives, whether it's Funko, whether it's Hasbro, whether it's Lego, whether it's in the Celebration show store, all their exclusive merch. So keep that in mind depending on what you're into, what you like, what you collect. There's going to be stuff everywhere to purchase. Now, not saying you have to get everything or have to even buy anything to have a good time, but you might want a souvenir that says, Japan Celebration, Celebration Tokyo. There might be something cool just for the memories that you might want to get. So keep that in mind for the merch. I'll drop this video link down in the description as well. This was my haul from London. And then I'll also drop this video link down in the description. This is the first look at the Celebration show store in London. We got in a little early the day before it opened for the first day. So take a look at that. That way you have an idea of what kind of stuff is in the show store. But that's something you definitely want to budget for, just in case, depending on what you're into buying or collecting and stuff like that. Now, the next thing we're going to take a look at is the art. And I didn't get into this until London. And now it's kind of like, for me personally, I'm definitely going to be looking at this every single time. So I'll drop the link down in the description, but this was London's artwork. So there's a bunch of artists that they make specific art prints just for Celebration. They're numbered 1 out of 250, and you could only buy them and get them there. So this was for London. I ended up getting 3 prints. So I ended up getting this one right here, Unbreakable Bond by Chris D. I ended up getting Tales of the Jedi by Joe Hogan. And then I ended up getting We'll Handle This by Brandon Kenny. So these 3 prints I just fell in love with. I fell in love with a lot of these prints. If you take a look here, there's a lot of variety, like Jody Ray Charity's Ezra one here. This is so beautiful, right? That one's great. This Padme one's cool. This Bo-Katan one. There's just, these guys are just so talented. So this is something that you might consider, you want to budget for, just to show support to these artists, and they just look freaking awesome. So the range on average is like 40 to 50, but some of them are 60, some of them are 70. But this is another thing to keep an eye on, just in case, because the cool thing with this is you can actually pre-order it. Before the show started, I actually pre-ordered the 3 of them, and then you just pick it up there. Now you could either pre-order them because there's a chance they could sell out, or you could just go to the artist alley where they are and pick it up there if they haven't sold out. So it's really your choice. But for me personally, I like the pre-order thing because you get to pay in your currency. You get to pay online. You don't got to worry about it. So I know for sure for Japan, when this goes live, I'm probably going to pre-order a few. I'm definitely going to get again whatever Chris D and Joe Hogan dropped for sure, because I met both of them there and they were awesome. I also met Jody Ray there as well, and she's great. I ran into her there. I ran into her at ICC Con in Nashville, Tennessee. So she's awesome. She does a lot of the shows. So I'm definitely gonna grab whatever she drops for Japan. So I'm sure it's gonna be something amazing. So looking forward to meeting all these guys again. But this is definitely another thing you might want to consider to budget for potentially if you're into these art prints and if you're looking for some more art to put on your wall. All right. So the next thing is food and drinks. Now, con food usually is never good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, every now and then you might find a spot that's good that hits, but for the most part, it's not very consistent. So what I've been trying to do always with all these shows is just trying to eat a big meal before, right? So say if you get a hotel with free breakfast, eat there like a king. And then I'll bring a bunch of snacks and treats. Like so you can bring food with you in there. Like every celebration I've been to, I've had tons of snacks in my backpack, whether you want to make some food to bring with you or just have prepackaged things, cookies, chips, snacks, candy, whatever. But I highly recommend bring snacks with you. That way it'll hold you down through the show. And then when you get out, you could go somewhere else and eat. Cause I don't know. A lot of times it's pricey in there for the food. And like you don't want to spend all this money on the food and it sucks, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And drinks, bring an empty water bottle. I have a Owala Boba Fett water bottle I bring with me. I fill that bad boy up. So that saves me money from buying drinks, from buying beer, things like that at the show. Because like if you're thirsty and you don't have a water bottle, the first drink booth you see, whether it's sodas, beers, mixed drinks, you're gonna get something, and that adds up quick. So food and drinks at the show, I definitely recommend bringing snacks with you. Bring an empty water bottle. You'll thank me later if you do that for sure, if it's your first celebration. And then the only other thing that's another budget thing, and that's if you're into it, is tattoos, because they do have a tattoo alley there with tattoo artists. So I have no idea what those cost. I have virgin skin, no tattoos, but that's another thing to keep in mind too. Is you could get a your first tattoo there, you could get your 20th tattoo there, but they do tattoos at celebrations. So keep that in mind for budgeting as well. So the last thing we're gonna take a look at is just like the currency over there, right? So it is yen is the currency over there. So I actually was researching this the other day, and they have coins. So they have in coins you could get 1 yen, 5 yen, 10 yen, 50 yen, 100 yen, or 500 yen. So at first I was like, well, I don't really need coins, but then there's these vending machines in Japan called gotcha machines, right? So if you've been to Japan or if you're familiar, it's like these machines right here, and they take coins, and there's different little like collectible things in there, right? So there is some that are Star Wars. So like as you see right here, look, a little bunch of Star Wars figures. So and then you have like some anime stuff. So these are all over. So I already know I definitely want to check some of these out. I definitely want to see, what kind of Star Wars inspired stuff they have, but supposedly they are all over Japan. So I know before I go, I'm gonna do get some money from my local bank, my Bank of America. I'm definitely gonna get some 100 yen coins and some 500 yen coins. And then for the bills, they have 1,000 yen, they have 2,000 yen, 5,000 yen, and 10,000 yen, right? Now, doesn't that sound kind of crazy? Like a 10,000 yen bill, but 10,000 yen really is about 66 bucks, right? 5,000 yen is about 33 bucks US. 2,000 yen is about $13 US. And then the 1,000 yen is about like $6 US, roughly around that. I think it's like 667 or something like that. But that's how their bills work. So I'll probably just get a mixture of these bills because I do want to have some of their currency on me while I'm out there, because I don't want to be out in like Tokyo exploring and I find a place that's cash only. Like I don't know how it is over there. I've never been, but I'm gonna be prepared regardless, and I'm definitely gonna get money beforehand. And you could check with your local bank on their website. So, like right here, for example, Bank of America. So 72,000 yen is about 505 bucks, right? So maybe I want to do that, or maybe I just want to have 300 bucks on me, right? Maybe I want to just do 300 cash US around that. So maybe I'll just do this. I'll get 43,500 yen. It's about 305 bucks, and I'll keep that on me, while I'm there. And then whatever's left over at Celebration on the last day, just use it all in the show store for pins. But that's just something to keep in mind because you can do this beforehand. Now, I know you could do it there, but like my brother even mentions to me, can't we just do it there? And I'm like, yeah, you can, but like the language barrier there, I don't want to go there and try to convert money and talk to them. And then they look at me like I'm crazy. So as much as I could do here to avoid any of that stuff, because not everyone in Japan speaks English. So there might be some times where it might be a little tricky. Anything that I can knock out here in the States while I can, I'm 100% doing. So like getting the currency here, flights, hotels, my tickets, some excursions, like everything I could book here and pay USD just to make it simpler for me, I 100% am. So that was the last thing I wanted to cover in this video. Hopefully there was some stuff in here that kind of helped you out. Comment down below if there's anything from this video that is going to help you plan for your Japan celebration trip. And be sure to tune into my live next month where we do the Q&A. If you guys have any questions, come to the live stream. It'll be a fun time. So appreciate you guys checking this video out and maybe check out this one next.